So today's class is JavaScript events. Okay, so what are events exactly? So events in JavaScript are actually actions. So what exactly an action now if you speak about it? See, whenever we click, okay, we click, it is an action. So what should happen when I click something is an event. Like there is some process behind, as soon as we click it, it takes us to, suppose if it's a link, let's say. Okay, only two things are clickable in real HTML, but whereas with JavaScript we can make anything clickable. So that's the beauty of I mean, again, when I say clickable, that means an action that happens after we click. So there are links and there are buttons. If you guys can remember, links and buttons are clickable HTML elements. Okay, so when we click something, it's an action. So what should happen next? When we click a link, okay, it takes us to new web page, right? Even it may be open in a new tab or it may open in the same tab, it still takes us to a new web page. So it's an action. Okay, like such, JavaScript has several events wherein when we do when we do some kind of action, an event will be triggered to do some other work. Like such, we have mouse events. Okay, mouse events are something which are done using mouse. Like suppose click can be done by mouse, and hover is done by mouse, and double click, scroll down, scroll up. So everything is done by mouse, right? Mouse events and keyboard events. So keyboard events are those events which are triggered when we use the keyboard. For instance, key press. When we press a key, what happens? Okay, when we so there are three events actually which are relatively the same. But yeah, key press is one important event over there. And the next is form event. So form event is something which is done on form elements. When what should happen when I select a option in select box, what should happen when I focus on a form element, what should happen when I come out of focus from a form element. So these are form events. And the last one is page events. So page events are like, suppose on load, like when a page loads, it's an event. When a page unloads is like moving from one page to the other page is unload. So what should happen when it unloads? So these are the events. So I'll just write them down. On click. Okay, it always says on click. If you can see, it's if we can interpret it like something like this, like on click. What should happen when somebody clicks it? On click, on double click, on mouse over, on mouse out. Okay, there are several other events, but we only discuss about the important ones. Again, the events. See, I'm just splitting them actually. Okay, so these are the mouse events. And on key press, we only see in keyboard events only one, that is on key press. What should happen when I press a key on my keyboard? Okay, and for in form events, on change is very important, on focus and on blur. So these are very important in our form events, seriously important. Just keep in mind. Okay, and page events, on load and on unload, we only see on load. Okay, now when combined with DOM, okay, so events cannot be used like alone unless and until it's an alert box. It cannot be used alone. You should combine events with DOM. Since we said this is all about triggering actions, so like when something is clicked, something has to be changed. That's called an event. So how can we change something on a HTML page? Using document object model. So that's the reason I said we have to combine events with DOM to see some action happening. Some action happened, let's say. Okay, so I'll take this. So here I'll write this. Fine. So let's go ahead and see the programs. Okay, so I'll share the screen here. I'll say this is